It's been a little while since I've taken a look at a new headlamp. Well, that ends today with the Sofirn HS20. It's a dual emitter headlamp with onboard USB-C charging on the tail cap here, and it's a simple and effective user interface. Thanks to Sofirn for sending this to me to take a look at and tell you about, and I've been using it the past few weeks to do auto and home maintenance, so let me tell you what I think. Packaging is very simple from Sofirn, no frills here, just enough to protect the light. Accessories that are included are some extra O-rings and a lanyard, a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, your manual. The light does come with an optional 3000 milliamp hour 18650, which I have installed, and it also comes with a headband here, which I will talk about later on. So the construction and the design, the light is made of aluminum and is hard anodized black, which is the most durable color. The design here uses that proven form factor of keeping the cell on the bottom to reduce weight, and then your emitters on top with your buttons on top of that. It's really simple but effective. It's got two emitters here, one for flood and one for flow, and I'll talk more about those here in a minute. And above the emitters are the buttons. They are fairly loud and they're electronic, but they're mechanical. They do have a green LED underneath there to give power status, let you know it's on. It's not very bright. And just some milling in the back here for style. Labeling is very minimal. You've got a battery symbol to tell you this is the end that comes off for the battery. You've got the model number. You've got this side showing you this is where the USB-C connection is underneath the cap here. We'll take a look at it quick. There is your charging port with a LED indicator. On the side, you have the serial number and your warning here. The serial number is important because this light does have a new optional SFT40 LED, and if that's what your light has, the serial number will end in SF. For retention, this is a headlamp. It does come with a lanyard strap, but I don't really know where you're going to connect that here. I suppose on the end, but probably not the best choice. To attach it to your head strap, you just use these loops here. And it's not easy to do. It's a little easier if you take the caps off, but I will get it over here with the cap on. Then you just basically push it through, and I won't connect the other one. Well, I guess I will. I'll connect the other one there, and this is how your head strap. Once in here, it rotates pretty easily just by the friction of the mount. It's a silicone, like rubber mount here. So fairly comfortable to wear on the head, no problems there. It is a tri headband here, which is nice. It does have the Sofirn logo stitched into it, and there's no grippy rubber or anything on the inside. For size and weight, the light measured in at 85.53 millimeters in length. The diameter on the tail caps is 26 millimeters. Height, which is here, measured in 47 millimeters. Thickness overall is 24 millimeters. Weight with the battery and the headband comes in at 6.22 ounces. The light is IPX68 water rated and dust rated, and has an impact resistance to 1 meter, all pretty standard numbers there. And here are some comparison photos with other 18650 headlamps that I've got. So let's talk about the LED and beam. The light ships with two emitters in two different versions. The floody emitter, which is the smaller lens, is a Samsung LH351D in about 4750 Kelvin with a CRI of 96 according to my Opal meter. This is the same on both versions. The difference is this larger spot emitter here. That is your throw emitter. Mine shipped with the CRI XHP 50.2 LED that I measured at 5360 Kelvin with a CRI of 68. The XHP 50 is a little bit of an odd choice here because it's not a very throwy emitter, and as a result of that, Sofirn now offers a version with an SFT40 emitter, which should increase the throw pretty substantially. When both emitters are on together, I measured 5180 Kelvin with a CRI of 75, and there's a little bit of PWM here according to my meter, not something I've noticed by hand. And I will put up a chart here measuring my outputs versus what Sofirn claims. In general, they're pretty accurate. My lumen tube setup doesn't really measure low lumens under 20 or 30 super accurately, so I don't have those listed. Tonight I'm looking at the Sofirn SP20. Now this light has two emitters, and you can run each independently or together, so this is going to take a little while, so bear with me. Right now I've got the LH351D on, which is the floody emitter. I tested this at about 4700 Kelvin, 96 CRI, and you can see that in the plants here. Nice color tones. So let's take a look at the brightness settings here. So this is low mode, about about 40 lumens. There is an eco mode that's 5 lumens that I won't show because it doesn't show up very well in video. Here is medium 150. This is still pretty good for short range tasks. I can see to the bottom of the stairs, but not a whole lot further. My eye can see the fence as well, so it's not too bad. Now here's high at 400 lumens. You can see the fence fairly well. My eye can see it a little better than the camera can. And here is turbo at 1000 lumens. If I pan up, you can see it's a very floody beam. Hard to kind of tell at short range, but we can pan over to the house a little bit and see that it's a very floody beam. So next I'm showing you the thrower beam. This is running a CRI XHP 50.2. They have updated this to a SFT 40 LED, which you may get if you purchase this light. But for now, we'll stick with the XHP. I tested about 3560 Kelvin, 68 CRI, and you can tell a difference in the plants there. They're just not quite as nice, a little more washed out. So this is low at 60 lumens. There is an eco at 10. Bumping up, here is medium at 300 lumens. And you can see it throws on the fence a little bit better. Again, the camera's not picking this up quite as well as my eye can. Here is high at 900 lumens. You can see it throws better. We can see the neighbor's shed there. And here's turbo at 2300. Now this light should throw better with the that other LED quite a bit better. So keep that in mind about the performance here. And for simplification, I'll just show both emitters on in turbo. This is 2700 lumens, and we can see it's a mixture of flood and throw. Who would have thought? In this mode, you have modes of 12 lumens, 100, 350, and 1000 lumens. So again, this is the Sofirn HS20 Headlamp. Quite a versatile light with a very easy UI, and one I think that's pretty good. Let me know what you think of it. For heat and runtime here, this light has 5 brightness modes, 2 LEDs, so there's a lot of combinations here. I focused on the higher output modes to make the output graphs with, and all these tests were done with my LH351D and XHP 50.2 version of the light, and I tested it on my calibrated but still homemade lumen tube. Under turbo with both emitters on, at the 30-second mark, I measured 2220 lumens, and this declined pretty quickly. Within 4 minutes, it was down to about 290 lumens because that heat had climbed to 55C. As the light cools slightly, it does bring up the brightness to over 500 lumens by the end of the runtime. Effective runtime here was a little over 2 hours, and the light remains on longer than that, but only in eco mode, which is good for only 5 lumens or so. I then compared it to turbo on each emitter, and as you can see the results on the graph of that below. And I've got another runtime that I'm testing of all of the different emitters in high modes, comparing them to 2. I'll insert my findings here. I don't see anything that is alarming. UI is very simple here. It's got 2 buttons at the top here, and they control each emitter independently, and they're not dependent on each other whatsoever. It's the same UI on both, so neither is codependent on each other. The light has memory modes, so when you press on one or either of the buttons, they come on in the mode you last used. So we can see there is the thrower emitter, and there is the flood emitter. At a distance, you can see the flood is nice and even, and throw's got a hot spot. To adjust outputs, you just press and hold, and you cycle through low, medium, and high. When off, you can press, and it'll go into eco mode. And then to go to turbo, you just double click. So very easy UI here, good for really anyone. Charging is done via USB-C here on the end, and I used this Evatronics power bank here that I'm gonna probably do a little review on. It's got USB-C and USB-A, so it's nice to test on stuff like this. Let me plug it in and show you what I got. So here is the USB-C connection here, and I can just plug that in directly, and you can see it charges. This is USB-C PD, no problems there. And then here's the USB-C-A to USB-C, and it charges as well. The light will run when charging here, which you can see, but at a reduced output. And from low voltage protection at 2.798 volts to full at 4.165, it took 2 hours 18 minutes to fully charge with a charging rate of about 1.5 amps during the constant charging phase. So my conclusion is that Sofirn has another good light on its hands here with the HS20. Its basic UI makes it really functional. It's easy to use while at the same time being really effective. With my CRI XHP 50 version here, there isn't a ton of difference between the flood and the throw, but I think that should be greatly improved with Sofirn choosing to have the optional SFT 40 LED too. And I'd recommend that's the version you pick up if you choose to get one. Tints here are pretty neutral, and I like the fact that the flood beam is using a high CRI LED, and it's pretty neutral despite a small amount of green tinge out of the LH351D, which is common. Overall, this is a good affordable headlamp that should suit a variety of tasks well. I do wish it had a little bit of a lower eco mode, since 5 lumens for low moon or for moon isn't really that low, and my preference would be more around 1 lumen. I really think that everyone needs a headlamp, as you know if you've seen any of my other headlamp reviews. I just think they're great to use hands-free when really doing anything. And this would be an excellent pickup in my opinion if you need one or need another. Sofirn has generously provided a discount if you choose to pick up this light. I will have that info in the description below and links to where you can pick that up on Sofirn's website and Amazon. As always guys, thanks for watching these reviews. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next review. Thanks for watching.